cool. So this week I put out a poll. I put out a poll this week, and um, the question that got requested the most, and I haven't spoken about this topic in a long time too. So let's get it. What happens? What happens? Hold on, let me see. What happens when you send out a dispute and they close your account? All right. Has anyone ever experienced any? Let's see. Okay. When you dispute your account, has a creditor or anyone ever closed your account? That should be the question. Have you ever experienced your accounts being closed because you disputed negative information on your credit? Let me rephrase the question. Has anyone ever experienced their accounts being closed after you disputed with any of these creditors or consumer reporting agencies? Oh, both my cards. Yep. Oh, okay. It's happening to a few people. All right. Let's go find some stuff. Yep. Credit One closed mine ASAP. Wow. Yes, but the accounts were already delinquent. Okay. Yes, that happened to me in October. They are not complying. I have sent several letters. I figured something like this was going on because I was getting too many requests. I've been getting so many requests to ask me, Daraine, I sent out a dispute letter and they closed my account. Give me 1 second, guys. My mentor is calling me. Mr. Harper. Hello? Derek. I'm on live right now. What you got going on? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're not too busy and you have 10 minutes to bless the people, I'm on Instagram and all the platforms. You can come on. You can. With the topic this evening is if you've ever sent out a dispute and they close your account. So that's the topic I'm going over this evening. So you're more than welcome to jump on if you have some time. Yeah, yeah, I'm on Instagram right now. Mm-hmm. All right, no problem. I'll be on for 2 hours. So you, yeah, from now until probably about 7. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys. If your coach don't got a coach, you need a new coach. So that was one of my mentors and friend, Derek Harper. For those of you who don't know, he's a business mogul. So shout out to Derek Harper. All right. Now, so some of you might be asking, Daraine, why did you pick this topic this evening? Well, like I said before, there's a lot of things you can do against adverse action when you exercise a right under consumer law. So what I'm going to be looking up now. So let me see if I find it, because I like doing my stuff live. I don't like preparing for your guys because I want you guys to see stuff in real time. So what lawsuits have been done for creditors that closed consumers' accounts after they dispute inaccurate information on their profile? Let's see what happened. All right, so let's see what we can find here. FCRA claim for misleading double reporting of debt by original creditor and collection agency survives motion to dismiss. Not that. We want case laws and accounts. All right, let's see. Court must consider the extent. All right. So it's talking to me about verified stuff. It's not really giving me what I want. So we're gonna find some other stuff. All right. So I want somebody to tell me what happened. I want somebody to tell me what happened. Nah, that's a call from Jessica. From who? Who's Jessica? Yo, y'all be talking some weird. Who is Jessica? Uh, okay, I done the same thing. Okay, all right. Can I want some people? I want y'all to join me on live. I want to hear what happened. So I need some of y'all to join me on the live because this is a conversation that we need to have. For those of you that are not driving, make sure you're not driving. For those of you that are not driving, this is what we're talking about. All right, guys. So I know you might have a lot of questions, but I want to stay on topic today. What I'm talking about is, did your account get closed because you send out a dispute letter? If you've experienced that and you're on Instagram, you can hit the live button. Join me on live. Join me on live. We're going to talk about it today. All right. If you're on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, I'm going to drop a link for you to come on. All right. Cool. So we're going to talk about it. All right. So for those of you that were saying it happened to me, tell me what happened. What happened? I want to know. Tell me what type of dispute did you send out? What dispute did you send out that they close your account? And then we're going to go into strategies after. Let me see if anyone's going to join me on this live. I know y'all be shy sometimes, but don't be shy today. No, it. So, Forever Zawi, you can dispute open accounts if information on your account is inaccurate. So, this is what the law says. Let me give you guys a point of reference. A point of reference, 15 USC. Let me give you guys a point of reference, right? The law says this. If the consumer, right? So this is what the law says. And this, guys, you have the power to dispute anything on your credit report. So let me give you some foundation before we go into strategy. If the completeness or accuracy of any information, of any item, so I stand corrected. So let's go back. If the completeness or accuracy of any item of information. So what does any item of information mean? Anything on your credit report. So if anything is on your credit report and you deemed it incomplete or inaccurate, what does the law say? The law says if the completeness or accuracy of any item of information contained in a consumer's file at a consumer reporting agency is disputed by the consumer and the consumer notifies the agency directly or indirectly through a reseller of such dispute, the agency shall free of charge conduct a reasonable investigation to determine whether the disputed information was inaccurate and record the current status of the disputed information, right? Or if the item on the file, in accordance with paragraph 5, cannot be verified, they must delete it. So guys, if the information that is being disputed cannot be verified, if it cannot be verified as complete, if it cannot be verified as accurate, if the information cannot be verified, it has to be deleted within 30 days. 30 days is the max, right? So items that cannot be verified or validated in person 15 USC 6091 I5, they must delete the information, right? So what do we know? What do we know? Well, we know that they have 30 days to investigate. Information that cannot be verified must be deleted in this 30-day window. And we also know that you, the consumer, can dispute any item of information on a consumer file or a consumer report that you deem is incomplete and inaccurate. All right. Sir, if audio recording that they agreed to a 1099, can I sue? Yeah, if you have audio, I mean anybody can sue anybody. You can sue for anything. The question is, do you have evidence to support the lawsuit? That's the question. Right? So there's a few laws, ladies and gentlemen, that give the consumer the right. So 15 right? There's a few laws that give the consumer the right, right? And when you exercise these laws, ladies and gentlemen, it puts you in a very, very unique spot. So let's talk about if a consumer disputes information with a creditor. Do you do malpractice? I am not sure what you mean by that, cranberry juice. Do you do malpractice? I have no idea what you mean by that. So ability of a consumer to dispute information directly with the furnisher. You will hear people online tell you that you can't dispute directly with the furnisher. You can, ladies and gentlemen, you can. I recommend both. I recommend you dispute directly with the furnisher, and I recommend that you dispute through the consumer reporting agencies. You can even use the CFPB. So there's three methods that you can use to dispute. You don't have to pick one. You can use all three. And this is what it says. In general, the Bureau, and when we say Bureau, we mean the CFPB, not TransUnion, not Equifax, not Experian, not Innovis. Those are not bureaus. Those are consumer reporting agencies, right? So the Bureau, the CFPB, in consultation with the Federal Trade Commission, the federal banking agencies, and the National Credit Union Administration, shall prescribe regulations that shall identify the circumstances under which a furnisher shall be required to reinvestigate a dispute concerning the accuracy of information contained in a consumer report on the consumer based on a direct request from the consumer. So like I said, guys, you can dispute directly with the furnisher. Like, don't listen to these gurus online who's telling y'all some crazy shit that they don't even know what they're talking about. If there's anyone that's telling you that you can't dispute directly with the furnisher, guys, that's a lie. I literally just proved it to y'all. So considerations. What is the CFPB saying? The CFPB is saying that in prescribing regulations under subparagraph A, the agencies will weigh the benefits to consumers with the cost on furnishers and the credit reporting system, the impact on the overall accuracy and integrity of consumer reports of any such requirements, whether direct contact by the consumer with the furnisher would likely result in the most expeditious resolution of any dispute. Number four, the potential impact on the credit reporting process if credit repair organizations, as defined in section 1679A3 of this title, includes entities that would be a credit repair organization before section 1679 3B1 of this title, are able to circumvent the prohibition in subparagraph G. Subparagraph D, G shall apply in accordance in any circumstances unidentified under the regulation promulgated, that's the word, under subparagraph A. Now, when it comes to submitting a dispute, let's talk about submitting a dispute. The dispute must identify the specific information that's being disputed. The dispute must also explain the basis for the dispute, and the dispute must include all supporting documentation required by the furnisher to substantiate the basis of the dispute. So, ladies and gentlemen, all you really need to meet is three requirements. If these three requirements are met in your dispute letter, meaning you identify the information that you're disputing, you explain the basis of it, and you supply any proof or documentation that you may have in with your dispute, they shall um investigate the dispute per law, right? So after you send in your dispute, what are they required to do? So now that we know what the dispute that is sent in must be, we know that you can dispute with the furnisher. We know what to put in the dispute. The next step or the next question becomes, what happens after your dispute? What happens after your dispute reaches the furnisher? What happens after your dispute reaches the creditors? What happened? All right, let's find out. After receiving a notice of dispute from a consumer, person to subparagraph D, the person that provided the information in dispute to the consumer reporting agency shall conduct an investigation with respect to the disputed information. I want you guys to write this stuff down. 2, review all relevant information provided by the consumer with the notice. 3, complete such person's investigation of the disputed and report the results of the investigation to the consumer before the expiration of the period under 1681I, right? Now, within which a consumer reporting agency would be required to complete its action if the consumer had elected to dispute the information under that section. Wow. That was a lot. Who understood anything that I just said? Who did anyone understand what I just read? Just let me know right now. Did anyone understand anything that I just read? Because that was a lot of information. And that was amazing information. So I want to know, does everybody get what I just said? Who understood what I just said? If y'all understood what I was saying, just put me in the chat. If somebody understood what I was just saying, put me in the chat. If you want me to break it down, tell me to break it down. I want to know. All right, somebody's asking, can you break it down? Yes, I can. All right. So let's go over the facts, right? Let's go over the facts. And let me write this down so I can stay on track. Let's go over the facts. Fact number 1. The consumer can dispute any item of information that is incomplete or inaccurate directly with the furnisher. Do we all get that part? Does everybody get that part? Guys, drop them yeses in the chat, or like, I want to know before I can move on. Do y'all get that part? The consumer can dispute any item of information the consumer believes is incomplete or inaccurate. Does everybody get that part? And you can do it directly with the furnisher. All right, great. The next thing you need to know is that your dispute must meet 3 conditions. There are 3 conditions for your dispute. The first condition for your dispute is that it needs to identify specific information that is being disputed. Okay? So don't just say, oh, my account is inaccurate. What does that mean? What about the account is inaccurate? You are furnishing late payments on my account that are inaccurate. These late payments are inaccurate. They were not compliant with 15 USC 1666B and 15 USC 1681 S27. Boom. That is specific information. The second thing, it explains the basis of the dispute. The dispute is inaccurate because these alleged late payments were not in compliance with the late payment law, right? So right there, we're explaining the basis of the dispute. And the last part, if there are supporting documents that you have, you send them in. In this case, the dispute letter already has the consumer laws built into it. So you submitted the substantiating document and you're asking them to provide you with proof of compliance. So do you guys see the difference in my dispute letters versus the dispute letters that you guys are sending out for Metro 2 and factual dispute and all these other things, and sending out goodwill letters? Blech. Goodwill letters. Blech. We don't send goodwill letters out. Goodwill letters are trash. Trash. We don't send no damn dispute goodwill letter out. We do not send out goodwill letters. We will not beg anyone for anything. We don't send out no goodwill letter. We don't send goodwill letters over here. Let me take back my damn paper up. Y'all got me making a mess in my office and shit. See, yeah, I threw all of these paper. Now I gotta clean them up. God damn it. Y'all having me messing up my office. Ripping up my paper. Oh my God. Ripping up my paperwork and everything too. Got me messed up. Anyway, we do not send out goodwill letters. If there's anyone telling you to send out a goodwill letter, tell them to shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You do not know what you are talking about. Shut up. All right. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you guys. Guys, we have a 5-day challenge coming up. We have a 5-day challenge coming up. If you would like to be a part of this 5-day challenge, if you're on Instagram, comment the word challenge. If you're on Instagram, comment the word challenge. If you are on YouTube, if you're on, hold up, wait. Okay, here we go. If you're on YouTube, if you're on, let me see, forbidden credit, where is the challenge? All right, so if you are on, here we go. If you're on YouTube, here you go. If you're on Twitch, here you go. All right, so for those of you that want to be a part of the 5-day challenge, all you got to do is comment the word challenge and I'll send you the link. Comment the word challenge and I'll send you the link. All right, so I got 2 persons on the line that wants to join the live. Let's see what's going on. Comment the word challenge if you would like to be a part of my 5-day challenge. And let me know if you got the link. The link should be sent to your DMs. All right, so I had 2 persons that wanted to join me on the live. Let's see if we're able to get anyone on the live. My guy, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Daraine? How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. How are you?
I'm well. Hey, so I'm gonna try to make this short. Kind of give you a little brief overview of what I'm dealing with. Right now, I've been watching your videos for like the last 2-3 months, and I went about disputing with the credit reporting agency, so Experience, Trenching, and Equal Facts. I sent out like a basic letter where I was trying to use consumer laws based off the information that you provided, and I ended up getting some feedback, which I did that. I sent out that letter in September 24th, and I ended up getting some feedback. And the feedback that came back, which I was trying to dispute a charge off. And through that, a few accounts did come off. I also disputed some personal information, such as like my phone number, addresses. I had some stuff removed. Most of that stuff came off, but the charge off, I have 2 of them that still sitting on my account, and they came back as verified. So I'm now in the process of going through the second letter, which is going straight to the furnisher. And so I'm trying to understand this next round, like the round 2 process, which I am trying to use the law 15 USC 1681 S2, which is the responsibilities of the furnisher, something like that. I'm trying to learn that process, and I wanted to know if you can guide me through that.
Well, your best bet to be guided through that is mentorship, brother, man. You definitely need to know and have an arsenal of responses. They will stall you. They will derail you. It's in their nature to do it. So there's a lot of information online. Yes, that is free, but there's also information that you more than likely are going to need that's inside of a program. Because I'm definitely gonna not gonna put all the information in my program online. That would make no sense, right? So there are times when um, free information can only get you so far. More exotic accounts like your bankruptcies, your repossessions, your charge offs, can you learn it by yourself? Absolutely, yes. But there's a fast track. And the fast track is, well, Daraine's gotten a lot of charge offs deleted. Well, there must be a method he's using that everybody else don't know. So replying to a verified, validated, accurate, there's a very simple way to do it, right? But for most people that don't know or are familiar with consumer laws, they will go to the furnisher and they'll use an S2. Well, you can use S2, but how S2 is used is the thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having a gun and having bullets, and you're just using your hand to throw the bullets. Well, they're not going to do shit. But put them in a clip and then put them inside that chamber and put that fire pin back, and we're going to do some serious damage, right? So that's exactly what my program and challenges does. It equips you for pulling the pin back. Because when you let this round go, wherever this round hits, it's going to hit. So if we're talking a hollow point, it's going to shatter somebody's shit. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to a charge off, okay, let's look at it this way. What makes an account a charged off account? That's the first thing most people don't know. What makes it a charge off account? Well, it has to be delinquent for 120 to 180 days. After that, it goes into charge off status because of a banking rule. Well, if it's delinquent for 120 to 180 days, that also means it must be late 120 to 180 days. So, if they can't prove that the late payment regulations and rules were adhered to, if they can't prove compliance with furnishing a late payment and there is no late payment, how can the account be charged off?
And you asking me, that's the question you want me. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out, but you're looking in the wrong places.
yeah.
So tap in, brother man. The challenge is coming up. It's going to be a great opportunity where I give some of these secrets out, and these secrets I reserve only for people in my mentorship. But with on the challenge, I will be giving away some of these secrets. Like when it comes to accounts being deleted, that is so easy. The next, excuse me, the next step is how do I get paid? Like, how do I get paid? I want to get paid. Like, most people don't even know that they can get paid for late payments. Like, people don't know that. You don't know that you can get paid for a charge off being on your credit. Most people don't even know this stuff. But there's a specific route and a specific way of dispute that you must do. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You must be able to prove everything at every step that you're going to. So if a late payment is going to be furnished, they must prove that the late payment exists.
Let me ask you this: would it be? So I mean, I'm gonna join this 5-day challenge for sure. But in the process of now, it's already been 30 days. I already have the letter for the round two. Should I wait on that?
Well, you can share your round two with us. Share it with me and let me see how well you've put together your round two. I'm curious to know what you put together.
Yeah, this round two, I watched a video of yours. It was talking about charge. It was like maybe an hour, 20-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I was just going through the Cornell institution school, like looking at some of the laws and then just kind of replicating what you have in place. Let me.
Let me hear what you got.
Okay. Now I have this on my phone. Is it okay? Cause I got my computer here. Is it okay if I speak it out? Like,
yeah. Go ahead. Just read it out, bro. You're good.
Okay, I got you. 1 second. Here it comes. All right, here we go. So what I have here, oh damn, got me logging back in 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. So in the meantime, guys, the context of what you're sending out is critical, because in your disputes, you want to always make sure you can prove or put them in default when you're asking or requesting things. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So what you got for me now, bro? Go ahead.
All right, so basically, I did the layout that you put. So I put notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. I put the company name that I'm disputing against. And then I was like, you are furnishing inaccurate information on my consumer reporting. And I put the account number. So down below that, I have the reporting of such inaccurate information has caused severe damage to my character, my reputation, my general mode of living, and my ability to obtain credit for personal and household purposes. You and your inaccurate reporting has damaged my livelihood. And then I used the code that you have, which I went and did my research as well, just to kind of see if this more in alignment with exactly my situation. So I did the 15 U.S.C. Code 1681. There's 2 responsibilities of furnishers of information to consumer reporting agency, which is states A, duty of furnisher of information to provide accurate information. 1, I can't never say that word.
Prohibition.
Yes. Say it one more time if I can get that one.
Prohibition.
Prohibition. As well as I have how you define each word. So like duty, accurate. I basically put the definition of those as well. And trying to argue the sake of not receiving that 1099-C in order, because they filing, well, it's now reporting that's income on my credit report. So basically, I just replicated that, added some of my personal information, such as the account name, my address on here as well. You want me to continue the whole thing?
No. I know the letter that you're talking about. So gotcha. Now, sending that to the creditor, what standards are you going to hold into? So what are the 3 ways that a creditor could respond to you? They don't respond to you at all, right? That's 1. They respond to you verified, accurate, validated, or they're going to stall you to request more information. So when you hit those roadblocks, what are you going to do with that?
That's what I'm really trying to prepare for now. In my head, I was like, okay, I think just from me understanding how things are kind of working, this is where I prepare to go report to the CFPB or CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, right?
Yeah. So when you report to the CFPB, they're going to tell the CFPB that they already answered your dispute. What do you do then?
Show proof. Correct, right? So there are some inaccurate information, such as on the little chart system that's within my credit report for that specific account. They have stuff that's like checked off as verified, but then there are 2 things that say no data, which I'm assuming that's considered inaccurate because they not being able to show for the data in that space. So that's some of the things that I want to be able to show proof of when I mean inaccurate. But that's all I have so far. So what I'm kind of like taking in.
You're onto something, but it lacks structure. You know what I'm saying? It needs structure. It needs a framework. And that's what's happening to most people. And when someone send out a dispute, now it run the risk of their accounts being closed because their dispute lacks structure. right? So what you want to do is have your dispute structured a way where if they don't respond to you, they're in default. But how do you put them in default?
Is that called affidavit? That's not it. Okay.
You don't have to use no affidavit. Like there's laws for everything. It's knowing them and when to use them. So the reason why a lot of people get stuck is the framework and the structure isn't there. Because if they don't respond to you and it's past 30 days, how do you force compliance? What law would you use to force compliance?
I wouldn't even know, honestly.
You see where I'm going with this? But we have to think about this, because think of it as a chess game. It's a chess game. And they're making moves on the board. And if you can't anticipate where they're moving to next, you won't know how to combat what they're going to do. So then now you get stuck in an endless cycle of dispute letters. Before you know it, you're 6, 7, 8 rounds in when it could have just taken you 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, and that's what I definitely want to avoid.
So, because after round 3, after round 2, we're at round 2. Like, I'm not taking no stall tactics from none of them anymore. 30 days, if you don't respond, I'm putting you in default. 60 days, if you don't respond, we're going to court. But these aren't something, like, you could probably figure it out on your own, but it's going to take you so much time, bro. Like, it took me 4 years to learn this stuff. Going 5 years now to learn this stuff. So don't judge where you are now to where I'm at. I'm 4 years in. But this is the reason why someone like me can coach someone like you or someone that's stuck. In your 3 to 4 years, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be the one on this end of the screen speaking to somebody just like you.
Absolutely. That's where I'm trying to get to.
So the first thing we need to do is let's delete the word trying from your vocabulary. We're going to take that word out completely. So every time you believe that you're going to use the word try, you owe me $10. So you need to put my money down. We're not going to use the word try anymore. Is either we're going to do it or we're not.
Absolutely.
So let me give you a scenario now, and I'm showing you why having a coach is so important. Tell me, how did they respond to you? When you send it to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, what did they respond to you?
So from a letter standpoint, they sent a letter. It basically said that they received my certified letter that I sent out, and they will be investigating. So it was just a short paragraph.
They will be investigating. When did they receive that document or the dispute?
Say that one more time.
When did they receive that dispute?
They received the dispute on the 27th. I actually have everything. Let me just
27th of when?
September.
So in 2 days, it will be 30 days.
Yes.
Which means Saturday, Sunday. So now that they and it's obvious they will pass the 30-day timeline, what's your next step?
My next step was, this is why I was preparing this second letter, which I was going to send a certified mail strictly to the creditor, which is the furnisher.
Yeah, but what responsibility does TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian hold? What responsibility do they have? They have a responsibility,
which is to make sure our information as consumers to be accurate, right?
But that's one. But there's also a timeline for them to respond to a dispute. How will you enforce that? See, you never even thought that far, huh?
Nah, I haven't.
You see my point? So this is so being able to see this is a game, ladies and gentlemen. This is a game. This is a game called chess. And the person that can make the best moves will win. Yes, they must delete it, but what if they don't delete it? We know they're supposed to delete it, but what law are you going to say and hold them accountable for a lawsuit? What are you going to say? Oh, Metro 2 says you have to delete it. What part of Metro 2 says that? People don't know. What part of consumer law says that? Well, Daraine knows. Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So now we're on the chessboard. All right. 30 days ends in on Sunday. Sunday at midnight, 30 days is up. If they was going to reply to you, they would have replied to you already. So what do you do now? You need to enforce 15 USC 1681 I-5. They must delete it. But how must they delete it? What compels I-5? These are the things that people need to know. How do you structure your dispute going forward? And what compels, not what compels, what language are you going to use for you now to be able to enforce that? These are the missing parts. And this is like why having a coach is one of the most important things, because what does a coach do? A coach is able to anticipate your moves before you even make them. We just talked about 10 different moves on the chess table right now that you haven't even thought about yet.
Yeah.
But there are people like you every day that they are not responding to, that they are closing their accounts and they don't know what to do. It's real stuff. You're not the only one going through it. It is real stuff. They are using the ignorance of people. They're using ignorance because they know people don't know. And they're using this thing, ignorance, to close people's account, which directly impacts your well-being. It impacts your character. It impacts your mode of living. It impacts your reputation. So you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, if they don't respond in 30 days, you can sue them. Yes. But what are you going to do or use to substantiate your lawsuit? What would be the grounds or the foundation of a lawsuit because they did not respond to you? I got you thinking, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely finna get in this coaching. So.
It's important because for what you want to do, I can tell that you want to do more than just help yourself. You want to help people, and you want you to be a prime example of what you want to preach. You want to work on yourself before you work on people. So your best.
You say that last part again?
No, I'm saying from where I stand, I can see that you're someone that wants to help people. You want to do more, and you want yourself to be your testimonial first, because you want to try it on yourself before you try it on anyone. Well, these strategies are proven. It's just knowing the right way how to do it. And that's what a mentor does. A mentor cuts you through all the noise of the internet. Daraine, they didn't respond to me in 30 days. I bet I got a letter just for you. We know exactly what to send. They replied, verified, validated, accurate. I know exactly what to send. They sent me a stall letter. I know exactly what to send. They told me my personal information is tied to an open account, so they can't delete it. I know exactly what to send.
Yeah, that's where I'm here. I'm here.
It's a lot. I know it's a lot. So what you can do, brother man, is tap in. Comment the word university and you should get a link. Book a consultation. Get a tour. See what's in there. The tour is free. You get a free tour of my whole university. You got nothing to lose. Book a tour. Just comment the word university and a link should hit you in the DMs.
All right.
And after that, bro, just take a tour. Schedule a tour and go see what's in the program. If you like this stuff, welcome to the family.
Yes, sir. I really do appreciate you, man.
Bro, you got no idea what's waiting for you, bro. You got no clue what's waiting for you. And when you see what's inside this university, you're gonna punch yourself in the face like, why did I not do this sooner? You'll see.
Hey, I'm here. I'm gonna lock in for sure.
All right, let's get it, bro.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. All right, guys, drop some fire in the chat for Cameron. It like these are the tough conversations that we must have. These are the tough conversations we must have. And I know there's a lot of you that want to join the program. Like, guys, you're not just joining a program that's teaching you credit repair. I'm not just teaching you credit repair. I am teaching you laws. And I'm teaching you what do you do when this happens. I'm not telling you to go into my software and go click a button and sit down and watch the magic happen. What happens when you send out a dispute letter and they respond to you verified, validated, accurate? What happens when they close your account? What are you going to do next? When they close your account because you send out a dispute, what are you going to do next? These are the things other coaches can't teach you because they don't know it. Did you know that if you exercised any law under Chapter 41, any consumer law, and you had adverse action taken against you, did you know that that constitutes discrimination? Most people don't even know that. If you dispute an item on your credit, and because you disputed the item, they closed your account or reduced your balance, your available balance, that is called adverse action, and you have been discriminated against. Most people don't even know that. These are the things you want to know. Why? Why do I want to know them, Daraine? That's a very good question. You want to know them because you need to hold somebody responsible. Can somebody drop the word responsibility in the chat for me? Drop the word responsibility in the chat. Can someone drop the word responsibility in the chat? Are you holding TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, Credit One, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Navy Federal, PenFed? Are you holding them responsible? Are you holding them responsible? Responsibility. Whose shoulder does the responsibility fall on? Responsibility. Someone has to be responsible, and someone has to enforce that responsibility. The question becomes, which side are you going to be on? Yep, I agree, Maxon. I agree. Time to turn up. I agree with you 100%. The Awakening 4, responsibility. I agree 100%. Because if your account, all right, let me read this. Because some of y'all might still be thinking, Daraine, you're just talking. Let's talk about discrimination. We're gonna talk about discrimination. It shall be unlawful. Can someone drop the word unlawful in the chat for me? Unlawful. Can someone drop the word unlawful in the chat? Can somebody drop the word unlawful in the chat? Unlawful. Can somebody drop that in the chat for me? All right. It shall be unlawful for any creditor to discriminate against any applicant with respect to any aspect of credit transaction because the applicant has in good faith exercised any right under this subchapter. I wish I was making this stuff up, guys. I wish I could make this stuff up. These are facts. These are laws. If you exercise any right, any law, and adverse action was taken against you, that's discrimination. If they discriminate against you, it is, guys, do you all know discrimination is a heavy lawsuit? All right, let's go find some lawsuits on discrimination. Oh, wow. Let's find some discrimination lawsuits. Discrimination. All right. Discrimination. In the light of most favorable to Manat, we set forth these facts giving rise to Manat's hostile work environment discrimination claim. We want discrimination on consumer reports. Let's find that. Discrimination on consumer reports. All right, look like I'm not seeing any right now. I'm gonna. Ooh, I know. I was looking in the wrong place. I was looking in the wrong place. Equal Credit Opportunity Act. I was looking in the wrong place. All right, I see somebody that wants to come on the live. All right, my coach is in the building. All right, let's go. Let's go. It's about to get crazy. Y'all don't even know what fire is about to rain on y'all right now. Y'all should be honored. Y'all are in the presence of greatness. Mr. Harper.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, coach?
Hanging on here, man. Hanging on here.
No, you be working.
I was just talking to Malcolm. He got me over here shooting some content.
Yeah, what's up, Malcolm? Talk about the best content director in the world. Shout out to my guy, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
All day, every day.
I think it's shining, man. I see you over there. What you got going on, though?
Few things. So this week I normally do polls during the week, and then I answer those questions on Fridays. And what I'm seeing is, I think we have one of the queen joining us right now. Are you online? Can you hear us? I think she's off. So, and one of the biggest, I got this question so much, Derek. I disputed an account and the creditor closed my account. A lot of people don't know that that's discrimination.
Yeah.
They don't.
You got the right to dispute under the FCRA, and they're supposed to actually do something what's called a full dispute or a fully developed investigation on that too. So if they don't, and it has to be concluded in writing of what they decided on before they actually close it out, and they got to send that in writing.
And they got to send that in writing, right? 15 USC 1681 I5B. So when we talk about investigations and what is required, there's a lot of things that most of these corporations do, and because of people's ignorance, and I'm telling you guys, it's what you don't know will cost you so much. What you don't know is going to cost you so much. They are closing people's account. I did a survey on the live, and there was about 15 people that said it happened to them. 50% of the live said that they have accounts closed because they sent out a dispute and they don't know what to do next. This is the type of stuff that's going on.
Yeah, no, and also they try to use fear tactics as well by even when you challenge it. There's a lot of even other things that they'll try to set a fear tactic by forcing a lawsuit, you know, or trying to get the sheriff to pull up at your door to serve you to, you know, to kind of spook you off. Especially if you sent something requesting an investigation, either if you send it indirect or directly to them, even before they take that step, that can be deemed retaliation too, and that's discriminatory. And so closing the accounts and doing that also can affect the same. And I've been seeing a lot of that. So a lot of people, they think that just because the sheriff shows up and serves them the paperwork, there's so many things that's supposed to happen before that, especially if they didn't intend to sue you before you you know, send an investigation. So what they'll try to do is to get the courthouse to act, especially if it's a third party declarator, they'll try to get the courthouse to you know, kind of intervene on the behalf, you know, of them without even going through the fully developed investigation process as well. So no, I see it a lot, and I see a lot of lawsuits. They pretty much, they just know that only one in every 183 people are gonna sue, right? Because only one person. You know, it's good that people like you are out here actually teaching people consumer law, because if not, there are going to be more people and more people and more people. They're going to get blind to it. And next thing you know, they're going to be giving their income tax money because between December and February, the sheriff is going to pop up for a lot of people. And they're just going to want to get their tax money up to go ahead and settle that versus knowing their rights that they have.
Wow, that was a lot. That was definitely a lot. Y'all need to drop some fire in the chat. That was a lot. So let's break it down and take it a step deeper. Any item on the consumer report, if the consumer deems that the information is incomplete or inaccurate, the consumer has the right. Now, there has been news on the internet stating that you should not dispute with the furnisher because you can sue the furnisher. Well, yes, the law says you can sue a furnisher and you can hold them accountable. And when a consumer initiates a dispute, they also have a responsibility as long as 3 conditions are met. So when it comes to the furnishers, guys, there's 2 ways. You can go direct to furnisher, or you could go through the consumer reporting agencies. Because once you dispute to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, they have to send a dispute back to the furnisher that supplied the information. 9 times out of 10, they don't do it. And then you don't get a response. 30 days pass, they don't respond. Most people don't know what to do. They respond to you, verified, validated, accurate. Most people don't know what to do. Or they say, we need more information. More information on what? That's a stall tactics. Most people don't know what to do. And then the creditor is going to close the account. So now we're talking about, you have your bills that's coming out of your accounts, Derek. It's a credit card, right? So you pay your bills through your credit card. You go shopping, gas, after school program gets paid all off of your credit card. But now because there was inaccurate information on your credit and that account is closed down, now you're marked as late. Now the account is delinquent. Now you cannot pay for your daughter's after school because you thought everything was good on that card, not knowing that they shut the card down. So now payments are missed, and now your reputation has been damaged. So you went from the great father to this guy don't pay his daughter's after school program. Defamation of character. So like it's beyond credit. Like, guys, what you're experiencing goes beyond credit itself. It cuts deep. And if you aren't a person who does not know their rights, have no rights.
Yeah, and when you look at the case of even Cushman versus TransUnion, right, of how she hit them for punitive and negligence, where, I mean, she got in the hundreds of thousands of dollars just based on her challenge or something, and they taking her for granted. So, and when you look at those cases and see how much and how often they actually happen, it's because people knew to take action, right? So, and there's 386 pieces of criteria that they have to adhere to when even reporting data on you. And a lot of people don't even know what those 386 pieces of criteria are, right? And they might say, hey, we verified because we got proof that a payment was made. But, hey, you don't have proof that I'm the owner of the bank account that the payment was made from. So until you furnish that, then therefore you still could be in violation. And so many lawsuits get filed. And so many opportunities get missed because people just don't know what questions to ask. And so, you know, basically, the last thing you want to do is make the claim. And because when you make the claim first, now the burden of proof is on you. You got to make sure that you prove that it was, prove that it wasn't. Put them in a position to do all the talking. And we know that's for anything. You let somebody talk enough, they're going to mess up. And then when you go back to ask them the questions of what they said the first time, they ain't going to be able to remember what they said. And so the same applies when you're talking about the preponderance of evidence that they furnished against you, because now they got to show more evidence than you have to show. But if the burden of proof is on them, and therefore now all you got to do is just wait on them to furnish the evidence, and then you can challenge any piece of it. If any one piece of it is wrong, then therefore it's grounds for removal. But the good part started there, because now we know that if our rights been violated, we know that if we check up, we see the stall tactic. Now it's just a matter of counting those violations and then going after them and then filing those lawsuits against them. You know, and there's a lot of people get impatient, right? Because they want to go get the car during tax time. They feel like they don't have 30 or 60 days to wait. So they don't want to go 90 to 120 days, not knowing they might be leaving $50,000 to $100,000 on the table. And so a lot of that goes on because it's not even a matter of people not knowing their rights. A lot of people are in position to where they can wait on it. And so they're scared of not paying that extra interest rate where they losing out on $30,000, $40,000 in a potential lawsuit.
Correct. And right now, deletions are cute. I've gotten thousands of deletions. Like my students, they've been killing it. Even free people online, they've gotten so many deletions. And, you know, I was thinking and I was going over it. I'm like, yo, all these people are doing is they're deleting, but ain't nobody cutting a check. So then I came up with a strategy, and one of my students first got a check, $50,000 for inaccurate information using the Nelson versus Experian Information Inc. when they refused to delete his incorrect personal information. So I'm like, there's something here. So then I started to investigate. Do you know for emotional damages alone, there's case laws to support $150,000? Like a lot of people are worried about a deletion. Guys, I am telling you, when you learn this credit game, there's a few things you can do. And you said something to me last night that got my wheels turning all night. I couldn't even sleep. Not only can you fix your credit, you can get personal funding, you can get business funding, you can go buy a business, you can partner with people, you can have equity in a company, you can also tap into lawsuit money. That's the hidden part most people don't know about. Lawsuit money. Guys, it might take a little bit longer than 30 or 60 days, but you see these lawsuits money? You see when these lawsuits hit, and guess what? You're doing it by section. You're not taking your whole report and no, don't, you stupid, don't do that. Like I have personal information section, I have the inquiry section, I have the account section, and I have public record section and soft inquiry section. That's 6 different sections I can sue for. So why get a lawsuit once when I can get it 6 times? One time lawsuit, you get 200,000-300,000. 6 lawsuits at 150,000.
And a lot of people don't realize this until they're on the other side. It's just like when the court system, when let's say if you pull out a gun on somebody and shoot them, of course they're gonna get you for murder, right? But they also gonna get you for possession of a firearm. They also gonna get you for going across state lines with the possession of a firearm. So before the murder charge even hits the courts, you got 4 other charges to face right there. And so when you realize that as a consumer, they do the same thing to you, we forget when we're trying to sue them that it's not just one mistake that they made, it's per violation.
Several violations.
And so anytime that they negligently not respond, then you got to realize they also got your address wrong. You address that, they didn't update it. They also got the account information wrong, right? And then therefore now you sent out a request asking them to send you the billing information. So now it's outside of FCRA. Now you got the Fair Credit Billing Act, right? So now people forget about the violations on the Fair Credit Billing Act because now you don't have my billing transactions. For instance, let's say if I get a refund somewhere and you've charged me interest on a refund that I had to get. Let's say you mischarged me and I had a $4,000 purchase that got returned, but you charged me interest on that $4,000. But when I got it returned, you didn't
send that interest rate back.
Yeah, and so it's so many violations that happen on a day-to-day that nobody even thinks about. Oh, I took some stuff back to Walmart. They refunded my card, but you didn't send me the interest back, right? So now it's one of those things where it depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go, but there's 10 different charges on every mistake possibly, right? And a lot of people just say, oh, I can sue the bureaus, but I think that they continuously need to listen to when you pop up, because you're dedicated to this stuff. I wish I had the time to just give the people like you, give all of yourself. You do thorough research. I remember how much research you've been putting in, and I'm super proud of not just the accomplishments, but how you come and just continuously pour back into the people with passion. And so
4 years going, man, every Friday.
People change their lives here, and they really need to be on here listening, though.
Man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you every time, D.
No, it's just real, bro. You know, I don't come on everybody live like this, and you see how busy I be during the day. You get what I'm saying? And it's a lot of fluff out here. It's a lot of, and I call it out. It's a lot of fluff out here. It's a lot of misinformation. And when you got somebody who's so passionate about it, I'm talking about in your military days, passionate about it, right? And wanting to literally go change the world with it, not just for selfish gain. Because we already know if you go help people, you're going to get it back. The universe is always going to give you back what you give to the people, right? But it's the fact that she wasn't thinking about it from that way. And when the people might just be looking on here and saying, oh, that's game, that's game, that's game. But this is a lifestyle. You're not just telling them this for them, right? They got to go get their financial situation together because it's not about them. It's about the 10-year-old daughter that's watching right now that saw mom and saw dad get their stuff together, saw them fight, saw them change their life. So now they got hope. Now generational wealth really happens because it happens here. Now they can teach them this stuff. So if y'all on here watching, man, don't just call it game. Don't just be like, because we ain't really here to impress y'all with this stuff. So when he's on here really pouring into y'all, it's not about bars, gyms, and games. You got to also realize in life, if somebody's pouring into you and somebody's growing you, everything in life is energy. It's like when you got a stock that's performing positively and you throw money into that stock, you're going to grow. But if you got people that's pouring into you positive and you don't pour back into them, all he asking people to do is just come in challenge. But somebody on here probably thinks you're trying to sell them. Even if you were, look how much information you actually given them that they can go change their life when they serve. But then the people who are trying to give to them, they might actually think that, oh, I don't have to pour back into him. And then now you're going to have less people pouring into you because you got to take care of people who pour into you. Absolutely. And so if we get out of that mindset of, listening to actually take it in, if you get into the mindset of listening to take it in, now you got to challenge yourself with, how am I going to use this information? Because you're not just on here giving it to them to sound good. You want them to really learn how to sue the credit bureaus. So my bad on coming on here preaching, but I just want people to get in the right mindset of why you come on here, because I saw the work you put in.
It's been a lot. It's a lot of studying. It's a lot of reading. I have literally 70 tabs open right now. Literally 70 tabs. And y'all must be thinking I'm joking. These are all case laws that I'm reading. These are all case laws. So normally I don't show people my computer, but y'all get a special pass today because Derek showed up. Right? Case laws. These are all case laws. All case laws. All case laws. And it takes a lot to research. One case law might be 100 pages. right? One case law might take the entire evening, and you find one paragraph out of 100 pages. You found that one paragraph that says reporting of a collection is an act of collection. So when you hit them with a cease and desist, all collection activity must stop, including the reporting of the account. What, let's say now they didn't take the account off. We have a case law that supports the fact that boom, reporting is a form of collection. We sent a cease and desist out. You never stop the collection activity until the account was validated. We have proof because we pulled the report before and then we pulled the report after, and we have concrete proof that you did not stop reporting. That's a lawsuit right there.
Yep. And that's it. And then hit them across all three, especially at the same time. And then one of them come back and say 60 months versus 66 months. And so one of y'all messed up.
Somebody messed up.
But if the same company is reporting to all three bureaus through eOscar at the same time, that means that, okay, well, if you're reporting something in the system is messed up, because all of them are supposed to be uniform. So use that one for three. I know once that happens, it's an automatic lawsuit. It's just a matter of who's going to be patient.
Correct.
What did I tell people? You've been battling bad credit for a year and a half. You might not need to get that car in the next 2 months. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying find the leverage first, because now if you play your cards right, the leverage can probably buy the car. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, I've had, you know, I've seen people on really, really good sides, especially when you talk about Cushman. I always talk about Jennifer Cushman versus Jackson, right? $386,000 on the payout on the settlement.
I'm about to read it right now too, because I just downloaded it right now. So I have it right now.
The original and the appeal.
I have it right now. Jennifer Cushman versus TransUnion. I'm about to dive into this right now, and it's not that long either. It's probably going to take me an hour to go into it. But like, these are the things that you guys are missing out, and not being tuned in to a mentor, not being tuned into a teacher. Well, it took me 2019, 20. We're in 24 now, so 6 years for me to be where I'm at. You can decide if you want to go take another 6 years to figure it out. That there's shortcut to this, and we're not talking microwave fix. There's only so many things that can go wrong with your credit. You either have inaccurate names on there, you either have a ton load of inquiries, you either got late payments, collections, charge-off, right? Student loans, bankruptcies. Because we all should know by now that child support is not supposed to be on your credit. So if there's somebody on here and child support's on your credit, y'all need to come see me real quick. We all know, so we mark child support off. We also know that eviction shouldn't be on your report. None of these are consumer credit transactions. It should not be on your report. We know this. And the crazy thing is, I found out that TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian knew from 2003 that child support was not supposed to be on people's credit. When I learned it, I thought it was new. It's an old law from 2003, and they hid the information, bro.
Yeah, but you know what they did, though? They tried to manipulate the information. They had a third-party furnisher submitted to them to try to get them out of it every time somebody challenged them with that. And they had a settlement from a class action attempt and the settlement, they were trying to actually get them to say that they had to, notify people that they knew a part of the settlement agreement. That was like one of the things that they settled on tonight. We didn't have to notify everybody that we knew. So people just kept getting them and kept getting them and kept getting them. And if they don't get a class action filed against them, they can just act like them. So now they run around as this is the cost of doing business. Because every account that's on your credit file, you get what I'm saying? They get paid 39 cents to 97 cents every time. They got to actually furnish proof if that collection is real. So now it can be from 37 cents, my bad, all the way up to $9 for them to verify the accuracy. And so now what they started doing is they started playing both sides, right? Because now you just got to look at it as like an asset. So if I'm holding this account on the file and you challenge this, I know that I can make all the way up to $9 just to verify and furnish proof. Now it's a matter of like, do I want to delete this account right now and not be able to get this $9 over again, or can I just play the game of? So when you got thousands of people with child support on there, and then they're furnishing that, and they're trying to approve it or not remove it month after month after month, they're gonna hold it on there until they get a lawsuit, until where the amount of money that they got to pay out via lawsuit is more than what they taking in there. So everybody needs to know about that. And until everybody actually needs to know about that with the child support and actually get together on that to file immediate lawsuits, they're going to continue to play that game, because just to have it on there, they're going to be getting paid.
All right. So there's 335 million people in America, right? 200 million got a consumer report. And out of those, there are 126 million that have late payments. I'm going to show you something real quick. Did you know that you remember that lawsuit with Wells Fargo, CFPB? 3.7 billion. Watch this. How much is a late payment? Like, you probably won't remember because you probably didn't have a late payment since God knows Moses, but the average cost of a late payment right now is around $35, right? Wells Fargo got caught frauding 16 million people on this late payment stuff. 16 million people they applied missed payments to. 16 million. Wells Fargo made 560 million in 1 month for late payment. In 1 month. We're going to multiply that 1 month now by 12 because we have 12 months. Wells Fargo made off of late payments alone, Derek. That's what they made in 1 year. So for those of you who can't read this number, I'm going to read it for you. That's 6,720 million. And all they had to pay the CFPB was 3.7 billion. Come on. So if I'm going to spend, you're a business mogul, Derek. If the cost of doing business is 3.7 billion for you to make 6.7 billion, what would you do?
That's what they do. That's exactly what's going on. And so to us, it's like, oh, we stuck it to them. But hey, I'm going to pay that or I'm going to pay tax. Remember what we was talking about yesterday? If you're in the hood, bro, and you come up, it's going to be somebody in the hood trying to rob you or something, right? But then if you go into the corporate world, there's always somebody after your money, no matter what spot that you hit. It's just a matter of what environment you want to put yourself in, because somebody coming to get it. Somebody's on a constant chase to come get it, right? So they know this. They're already putting things aside in these accounts to where now they also got insurance that nobody talks about. They're insured against these. So now they took the $6.7 billion in. They probably paid out $500-600 million in insurance just in case something like that happened. Because now all they got to do is just prove that it wasn't, that they didn't do it intentionally. Especially, you get what I'm saying? So now
slap on the wrist. Bad Derek. So, yeah, bad Derek. But Derek just.
And so if you had a bad employee and you had insurance out there, now it's easy to get the CEO to step down. Hey, I'm gonna shoot you $20 million as an exit. Nobody talks about the severance pay that the CEO get when they leave from doing this to them. I'm gonna go ahead and give you $20 million because you're my fall guy. Because as long as I can make you the fall guy, and it's not from the decision of the founders of the company, I can always file it upon the insurance. So now you get what I'm saying. So it's all a game. It's all a business play, right? Because what's at stake here? We just want the consumers to build trust. We already know it's only going to be 3 banks in the next 10, 15 years. We went down the whole economic pattern, right? And that's one of the banks. So they're not going to go anywhere. So now that we know that Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America are going to be the 3, then we got to also come up with, well, True has actually entered the market now because of private equity. They best friends with that, right? But now we got to go with the matter of, okay, you're going to buy these other banks out. We really need you. If you fail, you're too big to fail.
Too big to fail.
Let's make the consumer and American people happy. They're going to be happy.
What does that mean, Derek? Most people don't know. What does too big to fail mean?
Too big to fail means that if the assets that they're holding crashes, then a lot of people who have stocks and holdings somewhere, because they leverage a lot of money against certain things. For instance, what made the banks build wealth wasn't the actual wealth. It was the actual notes that they held. That's why it's inevitable we're about to have a crash. And that's not me just speaking crazy, right? And I mean, if you got time, I can break it down like I broke it down yesterday.
I'm here. So, let's get it. The people are here too. This is a rare opportunity.
Yeah, no, if we get the fractional reserve banking system, we understand it started with the gold. Gold was too heavy. So in order to go ahead and get money against or get, buy something, gold was too heavy to bring in. So they said, well, just bring 10% of your gold and we'll give you credit for the whole 100%, right? And so now when it went from gold to the note, it still stayed fractional, which means that now you only had to have 10% of the money on hand, which means that when that became the law for deposit accounts, if you and 3 other people all went and put $100,000 in a piece, the banks are only required to have 10,000 on each one of you guys in holdings, right? So this is why when you throw $100K in, you go try to grab it right back out. They need a few days to get it to you. But if 4 of y'all did that, now they got $360,000 that they go get to reinvest. All right, so take person 5. They come in and they say, hey, I want to buy a $360,000 house. Because somehow they trick the American people into thinking that they own a home when they don't. Banks just didn't want to actually build out a mortgage department.
Don't pay them taxes.
So what they did is they said, well, the American people can go out and find a house and we'll just make them rent it from us for 30 years, right? And so now they gave the $360,000 to the builders. But they knew that if I give you an interest rate over 30 years, that $360,000, remember, all this came from the deposits. I have 40K on hand from the 400K deposits from all y'all putting in 100 apiece, right? So I'm going to take the 360 that's not even mine. It's really all money. And I'm going to go out and buy the house for the renter. Oh, well, my bad. The homeowner, right?
The homeowner.
And I know that over 30 years, this 360 is going to give me $1.4 million, right? So what started to happen is they got that note. That note says that over 30 years, I'm going to get at 1.4 million. So then they start taking investors and say, hey, if you give me 1 million, I can sell you this $1.4 million over 30 years. So you said, cool, I got to get rid of this hedge fund or I got to get rid of this money from all these investors to get a return. So in other words, I'm buying $10,000 a year worth of money. And I own the note, which means that if it go, astray and they move out or get kicked out, now the rent going up 5%, that 1.4 goes up to 2 million. So now we hope the person don't stay in the house. But anyway, what happens is they take that $1 million that they got because somebody bought that note from them. Everybody wins, but the person who put the money in the deposit account. All right, so now they got this $1 million. This is where the wealth is built because they got that $1 million that they sold a note on. Instead of just collecting the money down the road over 30 years, they went on and took the $1 million out.
You ready to go down the rabbit hole, Derek? Right there, right there. I'm gonna drop something in right here.
Yeah.
Securitization separates the note from the mortgage. The note and the mortgage must travel together. They cannot be separated. This is law. There's case laws to prove this. If the note and the mortgage is not together, it's not enforceable. Most people don't know this. So your note got sold. They made the money back. You're still making payments. They already have the $40,000 deposit that you made, down payment that you made, plus the money, plus the insurance that's under the finance charge, 15 USC 1605, that protects the loan, the life of the loan, the life of the credit, and the creditor in the event that the obligor defaults. Insurance money, right? What was that company that insurance, AIG? What was that name of that insurance company? AGI, the big one that failed in 2008. AIG, right? They were selling a lot of mortgage-backed securities. Most people don't know about this part. I'm gonna give y'all some game right now. Yeah, Derek is going Goku mode. I'm about to hit Vegeta right now. So when they separate the note, the mortgage is unenforceable. You are not told this because the note is a promise to pay the mortgage. Without the note, the mortgage cannot be enforced. Anyway, so now the note has been separated. It's sold on the secondary market. They sold your account. They have your down payment, all the payments. They collected the insurance money. And then in 5 years, 7 years, they're going to ask you to refinance again.
And
but
you know why when you buy that house? That's why when you buy the house, though, they don't even tell you that. A month or two later, the new mortgage company comes in, or the person who owes that note. And then they start telling you, because they didn't used to tell you. Next thing you know, you was sending the money to them, and then they forward the money off. And now, next thing you know, you get the house because they got to tell you by law now. But it's still a bunch of foul play, right? Because when they take that $1 million, guess what they do? Now I got $1 million that I done made off of your money. I'm going to secure the 360. The 640 that I got left, I'm going to say, hey, you who got a bank account here, who gave me the $100,000 deposit, I'm going to give you a credit card, or I'm going to give you. So now the 640 they got left, they don't go out and get a private equity company to say, hey, give me 640. I already got your 640 here secured. We call it pledge loan. So I'm going to tell you where all that came from. So you give me 640. I got 640 back. So your 640 is going to always be good. I'm going to give you a 7% return on it, right? So you're like, all right, cool. My money growing at 7%. So I'm going to give you the 640 because you already got it. You backing it. Then they turn around and give you a 15%. So now they give out $640,000 worth of auto loans at 15%. So now I got 7% that I got to pay out, but I'm getting 15% in. And that's how the banks are making crazy money hand over fist with your money. But the reason why we headed for a crash, though, private equity that came in. The banks ain't holding those notes no more. So the banks can't go out and take that loan that they actually paid for that house and then go leverage the futures down the road because private equity are buying these houses out. And so they're buying so many of them. The banks used to make all of this money off of holding the note, and they don't have it no more. So now this is why people think they're getting their credit lines cut. That's just the money that they had out there floating against those notes. So now that money is not out there no more, they cutting credit lines down. Credit line down.
Wait, hold up, D, hold up.
And you gotta have some kind of some kind
Hold
of
up, D,
deficiency
hold
there.
up.
And if they don't notify you of that deficiency, they can't walk you down.
So the dispute was just an excuse for them to close the line down because they sold all the notes. So they needed a reason.
They had to have a reason. Yep.
And
they understand only 1 in 1,000 people
is going to sue.
Understand the law.
Bruh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, that's what's going on. It's getting worse. So if those people aren't listening to you now, I wanted to break that down because the way for them to be able to get money is probably going to be a lot different. A lot different. So what I'm saying is the way that the credit system is operating now, people got about 3 years. 3 years the way that it operates now. So if they're not listening to you, what's going to happen 3 years from now? They're going to say, man, I should have listened to Daraine.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I thought I had time. And it's not going to be a way to do it the way that they're doing it now.
Used to be don't make no honey.
When the banks fold, and there's 3 main banks that has all this power, you got to realize 3/4 of the businesses are owned by baby boomers. Life expectancy is 78. The baby boomers are going to be dead in the next 7 to 8 years. $30 trillion is going to be transferred in wealth, which means that banks operate based on what the power of business is. You're shifting the whole generation that don't operate business the old way no more. They're just waiting on the baby boomers to die out. Banking, all of that stuff is going to change because you got to realize there's a shift from these powerful banks that's going to have to get together to try to compete with private equity. Private equity is a bunch of us that got together to say we're going to stick it to the system. We're tired of it. People just need to know how that works and become a part of that, and they'll be able to change the world. So it takes listening to you to completely keep sticking it to the powers to be, right? But if we understand the power that we have, and like I said, 1 in 1,000 people understanding this stuff because they don't want to tap in and listen, it ain't numbers. They got to not only listen to you, but they got to bring other people on the live. They can't. Our problem is we'll DM or send the word challenge, and they'll jump on your challenge and try to hold all the information to themselves, not realizing if they get their credit on point, understand the laws, they get 10 other people credit on point, understand the laws, they go get $50,000 in funding, that's $500K. The SBA will literally back them at 90%. Those 10 people can go out and buy a $5 million business right now. Just with $50,000 a piece of funding. $5 million businesses make about $1.5 million a year.
They can go buy storage units, laundromats. There's so many turnkeys business that the baby boomers have that they're going to pass up.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
It's a lot. Credit is the way now because a lot of people ain't going to be able to save that money between now and then. You got to use it because it's not going to be accessible the way that it is now. So if you're not working to not only get the because once you leverage that, an account don't get deleted because they don't like you. It get deleted because the law says it. And if it goes off because they violated your laws and it comes back, that's a suit. But if you don't understand your rights, you can't fight for them. But it's bigger than that right now. So Daraine can't take it to the next level because y'all ain't listening at this level. This is the first step of the whole journey. You don't just become the millionaire and the billionaire off just knowing the information. It's executing level 1. You got to learn the words of Spanish, before you can put the sentences together. And there's people when you talk, I was watching the comments. Oh, it sounds like a foreign language. Well, how long are you willing to take to learn the language? Mm-hmm. Because if you keep saying it's foreign and that's the language of success, what are you planning to do? Because the next generation, house is going to be on an average of $638,000 by 2030. That's cost of living going up by 155%, which means that if income is only going up 15%, you snatching the middle class out. The middle class right now is only depending on you knowing your rights and fighting for them. Mm-hmm. And we think that it's about voting for this person and that person. No, it's you. You make the middle class. And if you don't know the information, you can't just dismiss, because the more people who dismiss it, they're going to the bottom, because it's going to be an upper class, it's going to be a lower class. It's a vacuum to suck the middle class out. Mm-hmm. And the question is, how much you know about this stuff is where you're going to end up. Mm-hmm. And that's probably as clear as I can put it.
I mean, it's written in the Bible. I know I'm not a religious person. I'm spiritual. I believe in a creator. I believe in God. And I believe in the powers of the universe. And it says in Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed because of a lack of information. And when you give them the information, they reject and refuse the information. So at what point, like we've been saying it's been 4 years now, I'm talking about consumer law. Like, people, y'all need to get y'all credit together. And if you are purposely having bad credit, and guess what? Learn how to sue. Put them in default and learn how to sue. But nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to learn anything anymore, Derek. It's, take care of this for me and I'll remain ignorant. Nobody wants to learn anything no more.
They want what it look like, not what it feel like. So they see you pull up. They see the rooms you in. They see that. So what I realize is they want that without the process.
Yeah, but there's a process to get to the room.
It's definitely a process.
How are you going to arrive to the destination?
Supposed to be picking your brain to see, hey, how did you start where you started and how did you get where you got? Not how did you get what you got. How did you get where you got? I need to know that story and that blueprint. Because I watch people over and over and over either get what they want or always go through life acting like it can't happen. You got to realize I came out of a household, 2 parents on drugs, probably the worst of the worst environments you can come out of. And if I can do it, there's no way in the world they can't do it. But I think sometimes people get so caught up in it thinking it's not possible, they can't fathom that you really did it. And so what starts to happen is you start telling them this stuff, and then it sounds like the lottery for them instead of energy. And like you said, you're spiritual, right? That means you really understand the principles and the laws of the universe. You understand that no matter what religion you are, the books are literally stories that show proven in time that has people in there that practice and exercise the laws of the universe.
Correct.
The ones that did really well there.
Like example,
they were the ones that actually got remembered the most.
The law of reciprocity. 5 years ago, when I was in Kuwait, when I was doing some research on credit, you popped up. That was back in like early 2020, 2019, right? And I saw this dude, this light-skinned dude, great smile, doing $1 million in credit. And I was like, who is this guy? And I started researching you. And the more I researched you, I was like, I need that guy to be my coach. And it's just crazy how I put that out 4 years ago. And look what happens. You see, people want to skip the process. It took 4 years. 4 years for me to get you on the live. To put
But look what it took. So think about this. It didn't take anything fancy, but you being in position. Mm-hmm. And you're humble. And when I'm saying humble, I'm not talking about it as far as like you appreciate the people in your life. And you can lose ego because that's edge your guide out, right? Mm-hmm. And when a person can lose ego, so you position yourself to a person 3 ways. Either I can pour into you, either I need you to pour into me, or we're equal. And a lot of times, sometimes people, and it's not you're better or worse than nobody. A lot of people misalign or misposition themselves to people. So I serve and pour into people based on how they position themselves. So if a person comes and say, hey, let's be cool, we're cool, I'm gonna pour into them as a friend. If they come and say, hey, I can lead, I can get some information, I'm gonna pour into them as a leader. And if they say, hey, if they position themselves, hey, I got a bunch of information I can change their life, I'm going to pour into them as them leading me, right? I'm gonna join a coaching program. And therefore, if I find out if it's a bunch of crap, they mispositioning themselves, I'm a lead. It's okay. But when you can position yourself the right way, it allows people to pour into you the right way. And that's the energy. That's the law of reciprocity, because I understand that I might not be considered on top right now, but I got to go through and I got to find out who can I learn from in the lane that I need to learn from. I got coaches that I know I make way more money than, right? But that's just the money side. But they can spiritually pour into me at a level that I've never seen before. They can pour into me on a systems level that I've never seen before. And so I think a lot of people try to position who they are or who people are to them based on how much money, and they misposition themselves everywhere else. And so now my coaches, I go to them based on what I need. So the reason I'm saying that is because when you used to, join and show up, and you always pay homage. You know how many people don't pay homage? You know how many people that get a brand and they act as if nobody helped them?
No, you can't do that. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't do that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in biting the hand that feeds you. Like when I knew nothing, you were like, I studied you. And I'm like, this dude is a genius. And then I learned credit. And then I saw you jump a whole mile again to being a business mogul. And I'm like, that's where I need to be. So now I know my next target. Like you're in my sniper scope. And I see you from the credit. Okay, I did that. So what I saw you did 4 years ago, boom, now I got it. Now I see you where you're doing the equity deals, you're starting the business, you're creating multiple generational, and I'm like, I want that next. So I already know what steps I need to take. You know what I was doing this morning? I was looking at my report for who I'm going to sue next to write you a check. That's what I was doing this morning. Somebody's getting sued for you. Somebody's getting sued.
And it ain't even just for me, bro. You get what I'm saying? So you're doing it for. Remember what we talked about yesterday?
But
there's people in Jamaica.
What I'm gonna learn from you will impact millions.
No, facts.
I'm going back home to change Jamaica.
But you're committed to impacting millions. I've never heard you talk about what you did for you, right? And if you want to see the making of a person, you can see who they do it for. And that means everything, because as humans, we're the only beings that's on this earth that don't fulfill 100% of their potential, right? Because a lot of people out here, the only people who are only chasing money just came up in poverty. It's not that they're chasing money. We go through life chasing what seems like elusive to us. Now realizing that it ain't even the money gonna come the more of ourselves we empty out. And so we're the only things in this world that don't fulfill 100% of their attention, because we're thinking about we're thinking about dying wealthy. I want to die empty. And I realized that the reason why God didn't let us choose our parents is because we had to go through the assignment. It ain't fair if we get to choose our parents. No, we don't get that choice. We get assigned to where we need to be, to go through that environment, get that information, and then give it out, because there's certain things that have to happen for people to be able to evolve and move forward. But when you take yourself out of the equation and don't want to share your perspective, the world don't get that. And so now, if the world don't get your perspective, God can't use you to go and actually keep the world evolving, because there's thousands of people praying. And now, when they get up off their knees from praying, God sends you or the leaders of the people who actually serving to be the answer. And so I ask people, how do you want to represent the kingdom? How do you want to represent the universe? Because if God gave you an assignment and you understand that these laws of reciprocity are there, how's it going to come back to you? Now, you can make it about you and say, I don't like to go live. I don't like to do this. I don't like to do that. But think about it. If you don't do your part and hold your weight, There's hundreds of people that's assigned to you through prayer that's literally begging for prayer. And even if they're grateful or asking the universe for something, when you don't do your part and you don't plant your seed of what you're supposed to do, it's not going to be developed and grown in time for people to be able to feast off it, and therefore you didn't do your part. So now you don't get rewarded back from the universe for it. And there's a lot of people missing that.
So this, when like I said, it's 4 years now that I've been going live every Friday. It doesn't matter where I am. I do my best to go live, and I've been doing this. Nobody's paying me to go live. I've been doing it for 4 years. I was gonna stop in year one. And then I saw a comment that says, Daraine, your lives, I look forward to it every Friday. I don't have the money now, but I'm going to join your program. You know, the lady joined me a year later.
Yep. But you know what happened though? Because you stayed consistent in your lives, it changed her life. You was assigned to her. And you know, so when people start talking about the universe and this and that, see, a lot of times religion ruined that, because the religion is division, right? So if you just understand the principles and understand that all you got to do is do your part, and because if you really want to get it, there's not even a color thing. All of that is division. You know, throughout time, we changed colors and this and that, but if their eyes were green and they were white, they came up from by the snow in the Caucasus Mountains. Your eye color matches the water color that you were by, right? And if you came up in more sandy areas that was a lot darker, your eyes were brown, your skin was a little darker. All the way before we migrated, if you look at from the Canadians being very white, the Native Americans being a little mixed looking, and then the Mexicans getting darker, and then they get very, very dark in South America, right? All you got to do is realize that over thousands and thousands of years, we just evolved. But when we start creating division, we don't serve properly. We start saying stuff like, I only want to serve this person or that person. We locking ourselves out of what our true gifts are. We locking ourselves out of what we're supposed to do, because then we block out who we're supposed to serve. And there's everything that people went through that they don't want to share. They're embarrassed. So when I was about to blow my, and you probably didn't know this, when you reached out to me in 2019, my mom had just passed. I was about to blow my brains out there.
I didn't even know that.
That was one of the worst years of my life, and I had $3 million in the bank then. Wow. So you got to realize I went through becoming a whole different person then.
Oh, wow.
But I showed up and I served. When I came out the closet, pause, from not blowing my brains out, that's when I discovered the real me.
Pause. You caught that one quick. Pause. Pause. No diddy.
But it was a blessing that I didn't, though. And that's when I really discovered
I'm really glad
it wasn't about me no more. Because now you can have money and you can be depressed, because if all you did is came out of poverty and all you did is chase money, when you get the money, you're going to forget about all the other stuff that you did it for. Therefore, now you're going to feel like, what am I doing this for? And when I started getting back in front of people and sharing I get hit up at least once a week from somebody who was going to blow their brains out and didn't do it, because they saw how my life changed after I did. Wow. They saw how peaceful I was. They saw how I'm on this thing to serve. And I made a promise to God that I was going to serve the people. All you got to do is send. And I don't want to renege, so I show up. And the thing about it is, when a person commit to show up, they see their life change. The people in your family or the people that's around you that beg the most, or that's always there to take, they're always going to be in a position where they don't have. There's people that will watch you serve. They'll sit on your lives all day, and the moment that you give them a price, they'll back off, not realizing you're supposed to pour a seed back there. This ain't me setting up to sell nothing. So I don't know what you got to offer.
All right.
But the thing about it is, there are people who will reject, who got sent.
I got you.
From you. And therefore, you can change them, but now they're in scarcity. They're in a take. I can take all I need as long as it's free, but the moment you offer a price, I run from it. That's the test. They don't even understand that. It'll get replaced somewhere else. So that's just like when somebody's begging from side of the road. I'm not the one that's going to talk about, hey, they playing a game, this and that. God going to handle them. So, but one thing I do know, I'm going to show up and I'm going to serve, though.
So there's a scripture. I love the book of Psalms. It's one of my favorite books. Next to, I have three favorite books: Proverbs, Revelations, and Genesis. Not Psalms. Proverbs, Revelations, and Genesis. Those are my three favorite books. And in Proverbs 11:26, it says, "People curse the one that hoards the grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. And people think that when you sell, it's an evil thing or it's from a place of malice or greed. The Bible encourages you to sell. Why? Because the Bible knows when people pay, they pay attention. And not only that, they know the heart follows the pocketbook. But if I have something for you to value it, it must cost you something. Because if you don't have skin in the game, you don't attach meaning to it. Have you ever given someone something that you've worked so hard for and you see the way they mistreat it? You're like, I'll never give you anything again. Like I had to put in overtime. I had to do 10 extra lives, sell a course, and I gave you this thing and you just messed it all up like it was nothing. You'll never get anything from me again. And people have to realize that they have to participate in their own education. You cannot be a standby person in your own education, wealth, and growth. It makes no sense. You're going to be broke.
And also, too, let's just take money out the whole equation, right? And because if you take money out of the equation, a person will find their true selves. So think about this. People don't really want the money. They want what the money can do, but they're so blinded by the money that they forget about what they really want the money for. Because if I ask anybody, if I give you $300,000 right now, what you gonna do? You know, most of them will say invest, but they don't know what they'll invest in. If you invest $300,000 into a 10% market, you only get $30,000 back a year. So how you gonna live off that, right? So the average person isn't even equipped to live the life that they want because they don't know the life that they want. And because they put life on hold because they say stuff like, when I get the money, I'm going to do this. When? So if you go to chase life, then you know exactly how much you need. You might not need the million. 244,000 might be enough. And when you realize that if I can stretch you with a little bit, I can give you a lot because you're obedient with it. Everything in this world, it starts with reaping and sowing. So you're not going to get more than what you put in. It's just the fact that some people put in so much that they stop counting. And then you look around and then the interest payments. I'm not even talking about money here. I'm talking about the crops. I'm talking about the fruits. I'm talking about the environment that you're sowing in. So it's about what you show up to give. Am I showing up? I wake up every morning and say, who can I give information to? When I start talking, I never hold back. And what I realized is even the people who don't pay me back, I don't get mad. I realize that they're in the position to where they can't pay me back because something that they're not doing, but I always get paid back by the next person. And so what I had to learn is it ain't even about me at that point. People have to go through enough, and enough got to be enough. The problem that I got a solution for has to be more important than the struggle that they got going on. But if they feet on fire, I guarantee you they'll buy my water hose. And so once I learned that, it wasn't even about me no more. So just, bro, keep doing what you're doing. The people who's supposed to come, they're going to come because you're going to be surprised. There's going to be times where so many times I've been down and out on my life, negative 1,000 in the account and a $50,000 client came. Right? So, and I'm like, that was out of nowhere. That was from 3 years ago of like, hey, I was watching you. Like, stuff happens like that. Wow. And but if you hold on to the people who ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, your energy's going to go there. Like, you're too blessed. And I told you were a light. And when you're a light, that means that things are going to always work out for you. Start magnifying that. And so now when people see that light, that's when they come. Because when I told you, like, your next level is right around the corner because you already got the message, you already got the people, and you already got the heart. When you got those three things, those are the assignments that's going to be important. Now, if you look at the story of Samson, Samson's only problem was he had an assignment that was really big, right? But see, his ego got in the way. So he wasn't the person that could fulfill the assignment, but he still created success until it caught up with him. And they call that being in over your head. It's because when you start edging God out and thinking that you're going to grab the people versus you're the one that's just sent, that's the messenger to the people and God going to handle the rest. And I'm watching you do that. And all you got to do is keep doing that because you're about to hit a level. When I see you, every time I hear you talk, I tell you that. But you're about to hit a level, And the people that's on here, some people are probably just looking at you or what you got to offer. I don't see you like that. I see people energy and I see the direction they're going in, right? So there's people on here, and probably about 5 to 7 of them are going to go with you. The rest of them are just waiting on what you got to offer. Don't get mad at that. Those 5 are going to pop up, they're going to identify themselves, and they don't have to verbally say it, because most of the people who actually verbally say it lie, right? Once you discover the ones that's assigned to you on this, you're going to realize that everything that you're working on is going to start magnifying. That's the law of attraction, everything. And if the law, people, you're talking about the law of attraction. Right there in Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinks, so is he, right? And so therefore, everything starts in the mind. And when you start putting those limiting beliefs and worrying about other people, you're just going to attract more of that. So now you know where you're going. Don't worry about who coming with you. I promise you they're going to pop up.
Thank you, Coach. I needed this, man. This is a great way to start my Friday evening. This is good. This is good.
This is my way of serving, bro. Like, hey, I just know where I'm supposed to be. You said jump off for 10 minutes. I don't have the ego because I'm like, okay, I got the 10 minutes. I'm not like, bro, this is me. Yeah, like this, it would be no me.
Appreciate
if
you.
I didn't do what I supposed to. I know what I'm supposed to be serving. There's somebody on here right now that's going to be part of your vibe. Know that when I'm talking, I'm not talking from me or for me. I have nothing to gain off this call right here. I'm just coming through to say, hey, right?
Appreciate you, Coach.
I know when I'm supposed to be served.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got to go, though. I do got to go see the content because Malcolm, you already know how he is.
Yeah, I know. Malcolm is probably ready for you right now. All right, Coach. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon, Coach.
All right.
Roger that. Oh, man, that was great. Y'all can't tell me that wasn't great. That was amazing. Drop some fire in the chat for Coach one time. Drop some fire in the coach for Derek Harper. Guys, make sure you go follow Derek Harper. All right, Derek Harper Sr. Make sure you go follow him. Find him on all the platforms: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Derek Harper. All right, make sure you go follow my coach. My coach be dropping them gems, man. Always, always, always. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are 5 minutes to 7 o'clock, and I'm about to get out of here. Guys, the 5-day challenge is coming up. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot that you need to get. There's a lot of information you need to get. I'm going to say this again. There's a lot of information you need to get, and you need to find out and figure out, where do I want to be positioned? Do I want to be positioned at the bottom of the stream, where I'm getting all the leftovers, or am I going to find a good spot so when all the salmon that's moving south are making their way down, I'm in a perfect position to fill my basket? Like, some of y'all aren't positioned in the right place. You know your credit is not positioned in the right place. Y'all know they closed your account because you disputed it. See, what you didn't know is the reason why they closed the account is because there's a restriction on the money supply. So they're looking for every excuse now to close your accounts down. But what most of you don't know is that you can fight back. You can fight back because of you being discriminated against. Are you teaching how to sue? Yes, I do that in one of my programs. Yes, I will be making that offer to y'all on the challenge. I teach people, like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Them lawsuits money hit different, ladies and gentlemen. These lawsuit money hit different. So today's Friday, guys. I'm about to be out of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I may be on tonight. I don't know yet. But make hay while the sun shines. There is no time but now. It's now o'clock. It's now o'clock, and y'all need to set your clocks right. It is now o'clock. The time to move is now. And if you keep putting your dreams off, keep putting them off. You'll see what happens tomorrow, next year, next week. Where and when and how do I start the challenge? Loud Pack. Comment the word challenge. All the information will be sent to you. Comment the word challenge. Loud Pack. Just comment the word challenge and you will get a message in your DMs. When you write a demand letter, can you ask for the whole contract amount back? Not in a demand letter. You won't get it in a demand letter. A demand letter is just letting them know, hey, this is what I want. And if you don't, square up with what I want, we are probably going to go to arbitration or we're going to have a lawsuit. That's basically what a demand letter is. In order for you to force them to compel, you're going to either have to take them to court or you take them to arbitration. So whether you're going to go arbitration, small claims, superior court, state court, district court, like wherever court you're going to go. But from what I have seen, they're not just cutting a check because you sent a pre-demand letter. No, you got to go to court. And when they see that they have no other option, then you'll get your checks cut. But if you don't know how to prove the things that you're saying, you're going to be the one paying them lawyer fees. You must know that it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You need to be able to prove your case. You need to be able to prove your case. I'm going to say it one more time. You need to be able to prove your case. It is not what you know, it's what you can prove. The 5-day challenge goes down November 11th through 15. November 11th through 15, guys. November 11th through 15. I just dropped the link over here on YouTube. If you comment the word challenge, guys, I've been ready for the challenge since September. My guy, let's go. So you can't just sue them for making you put the down payment. No, it's not. It's not just that. All right, you're going to sue them for putting a down payment down. Under what grounds? What laws are you going to use to support your claim? What are you going to use to support your claim? You're going to sue them for a down payment, but what is your supporting evidence? What violation have they done? Can you prove that they were in violation? Everybody knows a lot of things. Yeah, down payments are illegal. How do you prove that it was illegal? 1605 is, if that's the only thing, they can do a lot of things with 1605. But I'm not going to stop your parade. Definitely go ahead and get it done. But 1605 cannot be the only law that you're going to use. The finance charge is one part. But I'm saying you cannot just use 1605 by itself. You need more supporting laws. All right. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this evening. I hope everybody have an amazing Friday. Go be great. You might want to watch this live again. You might want to go take some notes. I'm going to drop the link one more time. For those of you that are on Instagram, just comment the word challenge. Comment the word challenge. If you're on Instagram, you will get a DM you will get an inbox with a link inside of your DM. Is interest rates also illegal? It depends if it's over your state usury law. Interest rates are illegal if it surpasses the maximum amount of interest rate that your state allows. It's called a usury law. All right. So with that being said, guys, if you're on Instagram, just comment the word challenge. Comment the word challenge. It goes down November 11 through 15. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, I just dropped the link for the challenge. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, Cub Scouts. See y'all later.